Hello, everyone. We are going to do a life purpose oracle card reading. This is a 44 card deck. This is by Doreen Virtue. It comes with a card book. You have your cards, your message. This is a really nice deck. This is a deck where you can use separate for a life purpose, or you can use it to add to another card deck for like an extended reading. What we are going to do with this one today is I am going to have four piles. Well, not four piles, but four cards, and you're going to pick which card resonates with you. Okay, so let's take a look. And I might pull some extra cards just to kind of give you maybe some extra information in that area. Okay, so let's take a look at what wants to come out. Hopefully none flip over for us. I don't think they're going to though. They feel kind of heavy. Let me clear them a little bit. I always clear my cards, but I haven't used these in a while. I set the intention for collective reading. Thank you for allowing this reading to be for everyone's highest good and guidance. Um, okay, so that feels a lot better. Yeah, everything carries energy. Everything can hold energy. Okay, so I feel like these two want to come out as one, and this is one, and I feel like this one wants to come out. Okay, so everything is energy. Everything holds energy. This rock crystal has energy. Like, so your cards will feel heavy at times. If you're using them a lot, you should clean them. You should clear them more often. But it's very common for cards to feel heavy, especially if you store them in a place where there's a lot of interaction and things like that. Okay, so here are our decks, our cards, not decks, but our pals. So you are going to pick out which one resonates with you. So we have one, two, three, and four. Are you looking at one? If you picked one, you are asked to be um, very loving with yourself right now. You are a sensitive being. You've become more sensitive and need to make changes accordingly. Okay, so this situation can be around what you expose yourself to. Maybe there's certain foods you can no longer eat now. There might be like you're as you become more spiritually aligned and attuned to things, your body goes through changes. So you might find out that being around certain people might make you have headaches or might make you feel dizzy, or being in certain situations might make you feel anxious. When I was younger, I remember as a child when I was younger that my mom would take me to the mall, and when I would be so excited to go, but then when I would get there and I would see all these people around me and they would be moving and about talking, and I like all the noise and the people and the different people talking and laughing, and people giving like weird looks and all that like I would become um like my hands would become sweaty and I would feel like lightheaded, and then I would feel like I was having an anxiety attack. And so like we would end up leaving. My mother would be like, okay, well, we're just gonna leave because um apparently you just can't handle being here. So I think she thought it was because of like different things that we were going through at the time. But honestly, I think it was my spiritual attunement. Like I think I just was a very sensitive child, and I was never really um when I was younger, I was never, I don't know how you would say it, but like I was never really like the popular one. I was never really into having a lot of friends and things like that. And nothing ever worked out for me. Like I was born in January, so like every time I tried to have a party or something, it just never worked out. And I think it was because I was supposed to be like isolated because the isolation really helped me with my sensitivity. And I was probably like, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 at the time. I was just young. I was really young, but I remember just being really sensitive about things. And it's just one of those things where I tuned it out. But with this card, you definitely want to make sure that you are paying attention to that. You know, if you have children around you, pay attention to their sensitivity too, because we grew up in a situation where we were often like overlooked on our sensitivity, but it's important to not over exceed the sensitivity. Like don't I don't know, like don't condole any behaviors or don't like put the person in a box, but just be aware if they need to take a break, let them take a break. If you need to take a break, take a break. So this card is saying that you what might not have bothered you before, maybe certain people didn't bother you for many, many years, and now certain things they say, certain ways that they act, it like triggers you. It like helps you understand, it like maybe you never noticed it before, and then all of a sudden now you're noticing all these things that never bothered you before, and now it is. And that's because you are shifting in your energy and you're becoming more aware of words and the power of words, and you're not making excuses for people's actions and behaviors anymore. When we are sensitive, things affect us and a higher understanding. So certain places that we might have went to before, now we just can't, we don't even desire to go into them because the way that it makes us feel. So honor that sensitivity. That's important because it helps keep you safe. I know some people might hate it because they're like, "Oh, I wish I could do this, but I just can't get over this." And they see the negative in it, and this is not to be seen as negative. This is to be seen as positive. Okay? This is a positive situation here. You are being asked to love yourself more, honor yourself more, tune into your sensitivity. What is it teaching you? What is your sensitivity trying to show you about yourself? And often, if you tune into you, sometimes when you do that, you can actually move past the things that make you sensitive to get to this to where maybe they don't make you sensitive anymore because you learned why they were making you sensitive. So therefore you're able to go build up your sensitivity to the point where it's empowering versus making you feel like it's um causing you to regress in a situation. Okay, so pal two or card two, you have two cards. So let's see what your top one is. Music. So your connection to music is healing for yourself and others. So maybe you are really good at playing an instrument. Maybe you are good at meditation. Maybe you're good at singing. Maybe you have a great way of picking a playlist that just really motivates you, right? So this music can be in many different ways. It doesn't necessarily mean that you play an instrument. It can also just mean that you have a way of using music to heal yourself and heal others with the musical frequencies and energies. This makes me think of like the music of the earth too, like the drums and not just the drums, but like the waterfalls and things like that. Like people that make those like nature soundtracks and stuff, and like video record. like birds and things like that. So like that could be music too to you. It doesn't necessarily have to be like hip hop, rock, or something like that, or an instrument playing. Okay, and your second one is artist. So engaging in artistic activities is beneficial to your career and every other area of your life. Okay, so artistic activities, that's endless. Artistic activities can be anything that pulls your interest, anything that encourages you to engage can be considered artistic. Yes, she's holding paints, but it doesn't necessarily have to be about paints. Artistic can be book writing, poetry writing, drawing, taking pictures, anything like that can be a form of art. And art is very important because it opens up your your mind, and it opens up your mind through your heart, because your heart is relaxed and it is enjoying the creative expressions, and so therefore the energy flows through your heart up into your mind, and it expands your mind, and then your mind basically like brings what your heart is feeling into life. So art is very connected. So is music to our heart chakra. So your skills, do your skills from the heart. Whatever you're doing, make sure you're doing it from the heart. Okay. And then card three, yours is leadership. So take charge of this situation. Okay, so you are going to be required to step up. In this card, the universe is not going to take no for an answer. The universe is, they're the ones crowning you. The universe is giving you a crown. They are crowning you. And what does she have in her hands? I'm not really sure what that is. It almost looks like a candle with like a flame, but it looks like a glass because there's a stem here. Maybe she's holding a cup of something too. I'm not really sure. But she is a knight. She's dressed as a knight. And here's the interesting thing. It's like this is a really old uniform that um, that represents strength, right? So your strength is coming from your ancestors as well. It's coming from, you know, way back in your ancestral, in your bloodline kind of energy. So not only is the universe supporting you and crowning you and telling you that this is what you're being called to do, but you're also protected and you're supported and you're being guided by those who have done this before you. So, or maybe those that need you to do this because they were unable to, and they are putting their dependence in you to make this happen. Okay, so leadership is all about taking that role in teaching, because leadership is not about dictatorship, and it's not about control, and it's not about power. When you are a good leader, you are a you are empowering other people to do the same. You are showing them through your actions and through your situation that you've been through and you've overcome. You are showing them how to step up into that role. Leadership is also about helping people to get over their fears and to have self esteem and self respect for themselves. And that's also what this is calling you to do. It's not calling you to, to lead an army, or, into like uh, battle or anything like that. Like this energy is more of, you have the potential to show others their potential. You have the ability to show others how to overcome their obstacles. you have the skills to understand how to maneuver around things and people and maybe like spiritual battles, not just physical battles, but spiritual battles because you're being crowned by the spirit. So you are able to walk the physical and able to walk the spiritual, and you're able to lead people in a way that is honorable. That's why you're being crowned. You are able to do it in an honorable way. So you need to take charge of the situation because you have what it takes to take charge of the situation. You can do this. There's no reason why you can't. So this is empowering you to make that leap. Okay, well, again, the universe is going to put you in that role. You might not even realize you're even doing it, actually. For some of you, you might have already been in this role and not even realize that you are actually in this role. And if you picked four, yours is writing. You heal, inspire, teach, and entertain with the words you write. Okay, so this one here is all about putting your thoughts into words, putting your downloads into words, right? A lot of the great books that we have are from people receiving downloads um, of information, and they're channeling it and they're writing it as fast as they could because they don't want to lose it. So this is telling you to keep a book and pen nearby so that you are able to download the messages that come to you. And you can see in this picture that it's not just her writing. She is being heavenly guided. She is being guided by the angels to write what needs to be released in this timeline right now to help the people, right? So, and not only will it help the people, but it'll also help her too, because as she's expressing, she's also releasing. And as she's creating, as she's writing, she's creating. And as she's creating, she is encouraging others to do the same. So there's always a triple down. What happens in the physical happens in the spiritual. So if this spiritual needs something, if they need something to happen, it comes through physically as well. So it's vice versa. What happens spiritually happens physically, and what happens physically happens spiritually, right? So this is the spiritual connection using the physical connection to bring about what is meant to come about. So maybe you find yourself really um, with a deep desire to write. Maybe you like to um, create podcast or poetry or something like that, or create children books or something. This is telling you to have confidence in yourself because you're being spiritually guided with this, right? So have confidence with what you are doing. Okay, so let's take a look. I'm going to pull another card for sensitivity. Okay, so this one here. The angels are supporting, guiding, and protecting you as your dreams become a reality. So your heart's desires. Okay, so you are a sensitive being and you are maybe you can't do certain jobs that other people can do because you're just a very sensitive person. Okay, so like if that's the case, then follow your heart because your heart is going to lead you where you're supposed to go. Is not everybody is designed to do the same thing. So follow your heart on that one. Let's see. I'm going to pull one for our artists. Okay, so artists, music, and yoga. Your life is enhanced by yoga, stretching, and exercise. Okay, so maybe dancing is involved with yours as well. Staying healthy. It reminds me of the artists that turn on. There is an artist. There's a couple of them actually. They turn on music and then they like splatter paint like on this canvas. And it's just amazing. Or there's one artist, she is just absolutely amazing. She will turn on music and then she will paint the most beautiful pictures. And it's so maybe you're being told to align your body, align your energy. Maybe try doing this before you do your music or before you do your artwork. Try to do the meditation or yoga or exercises to kind of get your energy flowing so that you are more um, energetically aligned with your purpose, and you have more enthusiasm and energy as well. All right, let's take a look at leadership. So you're on the right path. Okay, keep going. What you're doing because it's working. Okay, so this is telling you that, you are doing exactly what you need to do. You are setting the example. You are showing others to not give up even when they're being criticized, ridiculed, maybe even put down, made fun of, belittled. You're still showing up, you're still doing it, and you don't care what anybody thinks. Okay, you're doing it because that's who you are. And when you do that, you are showing other people to step into their power, be who they are. If she can do it, I can do it. If he can do it, then we can do it. Like, you're empowering people to not be afraid to step out of their comfort zone, to not be afraid to be different than their other family members, to not be afraid to say, this is how I handle the situation, and I'm not going to handle it the same as others. That's that's your energy. That's where you need to be right now. Okay, and your life purpose fully supports you. Okay, so this writing is going to take off, right? Maybe it might be small at first. Maybe, it might be something that you start to do and it takes a while, but then it'll take off. Maybe it'll turn into somebody's important life saving. Maybe it'll turn into a movie. Like, maybe it'll turn into a children's book and turn into a cartoon. Like, there's so much that can come from writing. Maybe you're meant to write a book about the life that you've experienced and what you've been through, or your spiritual journey. Um, Whatever it is, you are supported, and it's going to grow in a way that you're not going to expect it to grow. So, thank you so much for joining us for our life purpose reading. I hope this resonates, and have a wonderful day. Bye.